When you think about who is involved in this, all of Sudan's neighbors, without exception, all 7 countries are involved in this war somehow. Egypt and Eritrea back the Sudanese armed forces. The eastern government in Libya under Khalifa Haftar, Chad, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, all have a preference to some degree or other towards the RSF. And then you have countries further afield in the region, Uganda, Kenya, etc., that have also been implicated in the work of the RSF. The RSF, in fact, themselves recently launched a parallel government out of Kenya in February of this year. Everybody's somehow invested in this because Sudan is a country that straddles so many geostrategic zones. It's part of the southern Mediterranean, it's on the Red Sea, it's on the Sahel, it's in the Horn of Africa. It is very much a foothold for any country. For example, the UAE outspends China in Africa, particularly in the Eastern Horn, and it sees Sudan very much as this foothold into the rest of Africa. And investment in Africa is a key part of the UAE's post-oil diversification plan. For the Saudis, they share a maritime border with Sudan, and they want to make sure that their preferred partner, in this case the Sudanese armed forces, is the one who is in charge of that Red Sea region, 1, to keep the UAE away, and 2, to safeguard their own trillion-dollar investments in NEOM and other parts of that western Saudi coastline. Countries like Egypt have had a long history in Sudan. The Egyptian government in Cairo very much sees Sudan as an extension of its southern border, and it has always preferred the Sudanese armed forces as the guarantor of that southern border, even when the Sudanese armed forces was very overtly led by an Islamist regime under Omar al-Bashir. And so for the Egyptians, they now see that keeping the RSF at bay is also one way to keep Emirati, Ethiopian interests around the River Nile away from the centers of power. And so one way to think about this in terms of the waterways, the Nile and the Nile Basin, and then the Red Sea and the Red Sea Basin. And the countries that are involved in all of these have particular interests. So for example, the Iranians want a base on the Red Sea. The Russians want a base on the Red Sea. You have global war really playing out in Sudan. When you look at the way that regional countries engage, you have countries like Egypt that are making a killing, quite frankly, because of the gold and the gum arabic and the cattle that is smuggled into Egypt that's helping to really buttress the ailing Egyptian economy. A lot of that gold that goes through Egypt also goes to the United Arab Emirates, where the world's largest gold markets are.